Before we slip into the dim half-light of a world 1,000 winters gone, do one small thing for our growing tribe of midnight dreamers. Tap subscribe, strike the bell, let it echo like a war horn across the algorithm, so that these drowsy journeys through forgotten ages keep finding you in the hush between wakefulness and sleep. Close your eyes now. Feel the ember glow of a hearth you have never seen, and listen to the creak of timber as the longhouse settles for the night. The wind outside scours the frozen fjord, yet here inside the sod-roof belly of a Viking home the air is thick with smoke and stories. Beneath the rough rafters cattle shift and blow warm breath. Children curl beside shaggy dogs, and old runes whisper in the sparks that rise up toward the smoke hole. You are lying on a low straw mat near the central fire trench. The smell is a mingling of birch wood, goat hide, sour milk, and wet wool. A scent so ancient it feels carved into your lungs. Listen. A woman's loom beats in slow rhythm. Thump click, because the warp never sleeps. Cloth must keep growing even when daylight has fled. Her fingers move by memory. The pattern she weaves was shown to her by a grandmother, who learned it from a grandmother before that. A living strand, reaching back to the first Norse girl who dared spin flax against the north wind. Across the glow a man whittles a broken plowshare handle, steel scraping through pine with patient strokes. He is no bearded berserker rider tonight. He is a farmer racing darkness. For when spring thaw softens the earth, the sea suns of hunger shorten or lengthen with each mended tool. Survival is the only real battle, and it begins long before any sail unfurls. Hear the baby fussing. His cheek against his mother's breast is smeared with soot. Every Viking child inhales smoke from birth, lungs trained early against the bitter cold because a chimney would steal precious heat and let winter win. The fire pit burns day and night, 8 months straight, its sparks curling upward to find the smoke hole cut in the thatch. That opening is the hut's single fragile lung. Block it with drifting snow, and the family suffocates. No one here forgets the rules the land writes in ice. Even the animals know. The pigs root closer to the embers, the sheep crowd each other for warmth, horses stamp their broad hooves, tails twitching at phantom wolves. Humans and beasts inhabit the same nave of this timber cathedral because every breath is borrowed against the possibility of another sunrise. Outside, the aurora shudders green across a sky hard as iron. A thin layer of frost coats every boat keel pulled high on the pebble shore. Those ships are slender wooden promises, oath-bound to freight fish, goats, or iron nails, sometimes bound for silver and blood on foreign coasts. But most of the year they rest like sleeping serpents, while their owners trade axes for scythes and bend spines to barley fields. Barley matters more than plunder. From barley come bread, porridge, and ale, without which winter would swallow every beating heart inside these walls. A family sows in frantic bursts when the ground softens, a lunar race between thaw and next freeze, plowing with oxen or thralls whose calloused palms blister again each season because the lowest class still bleeds red and warm like any jarl. In summer sunlight that lingers near midnight, women spread fish on wooden racks above the tideline. Stockfish hardens in salty breeze until it resembles driftwood, food that will outlast hope itself when January gales trap the fjord in black ice. The same women brew smoky beer in iron cauldrons, stirring slowly while whispers of hot grain curl into the sky. Saturday, laugardagr, washing day, arrives with steam rising from a stone-lined bathhouse. Sweat loosens week-old grime. Lye soap made from ash, and tallow burns in every cut, yet cleans deeper than holy water. Combs of carved antler tease lice from braids. Tweezers pluck rogue hairs. Even ear spoons scrape away the silence of wax, because cleanliness is not vanity, but armor against sickness. A dirty wound festers in an eye blink here, and death is always listening. Feel the pulse of noon. En howl nets dripping silver with herring. Children grind grain between heavy stones, the rhythmic crunch a lullaby of survival. Girls as young as 7 twist wool into thread, fingers cramped, eyes stinging. They do not complain, Complaint feeds nothing. A 12-year-old daughter may soon shoulder keys to the food chests, a symbol of authority heavier than any sword, for she will ration cheese and cured lamb through dark months while storms bury doorways in drifts taller than a grown man. Her judgment may save 10 souls, or starve them. Zuck's power sits quietly, like embers under ash, unnoticed by poets who prefer the clang of shield walls. Now let dusk fall. The men return from fields with scythes black against ochre sky. A jarl's retainer kneels to lash broken harness. A karl counts stored hay bales. A thrall drags buckets of fermented fish heads to the pigsty. Hierarchy is etched into every motion. Yet tomorrow one karl might rise, trading amber and fur until silver weighs his belt, while a careless jarl could squander cattle and slip toward ruin. Social ladders here are frozen slick. Ascent and descent equally treacherous. Night gathering again. The longhouse darkens. Storytime. The skald clears his throat, spits phlegm into the fire, and begins. Not sagas of monster-slain heroes tonight. Instead he chants the tale of a summer when sun failed and frost killed crops, when only those who shared last stores of goat cheese lived to plant again. The moral. Generosity is a blade sharper than greed, carving a wider future. Children listen wide-eyed. Adults not, remembering the bitter year. Knowledge travels best wrapped in story. Memory drinks it like warm mead, storing it for winters unborn. Hours pass. You drift near sleep. Outside, the thing, assembly of free men, has ended. Disputes settled with wergild payments of silver rings rather than blood, because vengeance wastes warriors the fjord cannot spare. A thief declared outlaw skulks into the forest, stripped of protection, as good as dead. Law here is substrate of cooperation. A frost-hard mortar holding human stones together, because no farm stands alone against the elements. Feel the crack of logs, the sigh of wind. Somewhere beyond the ridge, auroral curtains ripple again, a silent dance of green flame. In this hush you understand, Viking life is not endless violence. It is measured, intricate endurance. Every breath, every stitch, every stroke of axe against pine is a negotiation with nature. And still there is music, bone flutes, goatskin drums, voices rising in harmony beneath smoke-dark beams. There is laughter when ale froths over wooden cups, and lovers slipping outside to lie beneath July's midnight sun, weaving pledges as old as Odin. Soon the household will sleep. Clothes remain on, wool tunics, leather belts, because cold might creep through chinks before dawn. A mother checks the animals one last time, counts sheep noses glowing in ember light. A boy dreams of voyages, of Frankish coins gleaming like fish scales. But tomorrow he will mend fences. Sleep now too. Let the hush fold over you like a wool cloak. Somewhere in the dark a wolf howls. Somewhere frost forms on the iron plowshare outside. Somewhere the future already waits, seated in barley rows beneath snow. And yet inside this longhouse, the fire still lives, crackling, faithful. As long as that red vein holds, Viking life holds. And as long as we remember, its story warms our own long winter nights. When morning light returns, open eyes hit that like button. If the journey kept you safe through the cold, share this tale with a friend who thinks Vikings only swung axes. And be sure you're subscribed with the bell rung, because more whispered histories await, and you do not want to face the long dark without them. Out.